Hello. Thank you to those of you who waited. Y'all know I'll be struggling. No, I'll be struggling. Let's see. Let me grab this. See if I can open us up. Hi. I have to open up the chat on my laptop because let's see. Let me grab my links. I'm up in here in the chat. Hi guys. Hi. I'm going to pin all of my links here in the chat just so I don't forget. You know, I have to also join in TikTok. The TikToks I have been MIA from YouTube. I know y'all know. It's been given missing in action. And I'm sorry for that. I am having a great week. I have such a good topic for us today. Let me get my notes because y'all know I got my notes. Great topic. Obviously, if you're here, you've probably seen the title. Did I grab the wrong notebook? Oh, here you go. I have so many notebooks, you guys. Good Lord. Phew. We're going to be talking about being stuck on your fibroid journey, but I have a specific list of top 5 things that I would do if I was not seeing progress on my journey. And I think this is going to be really, really helpful. I know that this is going to be really for a lot of you all. I like to try to answer broader questions when I am on live because it's so hard to be super specific with things, especially as it relates to fibroids, because that's such an intricate topic. And I feel like it would be super negligent if I just glossed over things. Y'all know I don't like to miss anything. If I tell you something, I want to tell you the context. I want you to understand, because I think that's one of the issues that we have with all of the short form type content today when it relates to fibroids and hormone health. I feel like it's too basic. It's too brief. It's to really get into it, you know what I mean? And excuse my allergies, y'all. Goodness gracious. May the Lord be with us. So let me join in TikTok. We have Substack. We need the TikToks. And then we'll get into it. Good Lord, TikTok is so invasive. Lord Jesus. Hey, Substack. So this is primarily a live for YouTube. I let Substack know that the other day. I really owe y'all because I have been missing, um, you know, and it's really not you all. I've explained many times that it is YouTube that's playing me, okay? And they have decided that they like to try to suppress my content and play games, not showing you all things that I post. And who has time for that? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't want to ever make you guys feel like I didn't abandon y'all. You know, this is my home. This is where everything started, and I still be in the comments. So I know some of you have probably gotten replies back from me, even though I haven't been uploading. So just give me 1 second. This damn TikTok, boy, I tell you, the technology is technologing. And I think Mercury retrograde is supposed to be over. Lord. And we're going to get into the fibroid topics. So just give me a minute. Give me a minute, Substack. Also, I'll be struggling with technology, y'all. Y'all know this. But anyway, in my absence, I hope that you all have been well. And we're going to get into some things today I think will be very helpful for you, as I explained. Let's go there. Okay. All right. Goodness gracious. Here we go. I'm live on TikTok. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Substack. Okay. So I got all my screens up and I got my chat open for YouTube. Hey. Okay. Boom. So now we're in here. I am so super excited to be talking to y'all today because I find a lot of find yourself stuck on your fibroid journey. I know that it's difficult. You know, I'm not even gonna lie. I know that it's difficult, that you may have done so much. I know you've probably spent a ton of money on supplements, teas, detoxes, excuse my language, surgeries, all the things. I know this, and I have been where you are. For those of you who are new here, hey girl, hey. If anybody is new, I am Glampreezy. I am the fibroid coach. I've had a long journey, y'all. I am fibroid survivor, I like to say, fighter, warrior, whatever you want to call it. And the first time I had surgery to remove my fibroids, and I was very ignorant back then as to what causes them, you know, what things I could be doing in my daily life that contribute to growth, you know, all of the nuances, the hormones, the lifestyle things. I didn't know nothing, y'all. I didn't know nothing that I know now. And I let a doctor convince me to have surgery. Mind you, looking back at the situation, I'm not quite sure if I had it to do all over again, I would have had surgery, right? So I don't have any regrets in life. And had I not had that surgery, we would not be here right now. So I'm very grateful for everything that I've gone through. And after having that surgery, I had 8 fibroids. And I want to mention something. the ultrasounds, I had multiple ultrasounds before this surgery, this laparoscopic myomectomy, by the way, had multiple ultrasounds, and I four fibroids. Four fibroids is what they thought they were taking out when I went into surgery. And when the doctor got in there, he realized quickly there were many other fibroids in my uterus. There were double the amount that the ultrasound detected. Okay. And so I was in surgery for a really long time. I think I was under an hour more than I was supposed to be. They had to go out and tell my mom, like, hey, she's going to be in surgery for a minute. And goodness, like just thinking back to this is like, wow. So they removed them. It was very painful. It was a very painful recovery. If you're new here, just know I'm not into fear mongering. I just like to tell my story how it is. So this is my experience. I also like to mention the people that I actually almost lost my during that surgery. I was overdosed on narcotics, and I don't want to get into that because I still have some healing to do as far as that goes, and I don't want to start crying. If you're new here, I will cry. Just know I'm in it with y'all. There's no smokes and mirrors here. I'm 1,000. If I show up, I'm showing up in full capacity. And that means whatever emotions I got, I'm sharing them. Okay. So almost died. And I also didn't have insurance at that time either. So I had to be out of pocket for that surgery, somewhere upwards of like 10 grand. I was out of work for 6 weeks. I couldn't drive for 5 of those weeks, just to give you a idea of the limitations that I had, for physical limitations anyway. And I struggled. Baby, I struggled. Yeah, I had a lot of inflammation, a lot of inflammation. My belly was just raging with inflammation. And I thought my periods were going to change. I thought so much was going to be better after I had surgery. And I'm not going to lie, like that first 3 months, like the first 90 days, I did feel kind of okay. But soon I realized, hey, Meryl, soon I realized that, oh, my periods still looking a little rough. Okay. And they continue to progress. They continue to get worse. Okay. And I just, again, not fear mongering, just letting everyone know my personal experience. And 2 years later, they were back. That's not funny. I'm just laughing at my horror. 2 years later, they were back, and I was horrified because that doctor made me believe that having surgery was going to be the end all, right? I was like, okay, after this, I'm gonna be done, right? Like I've sacrificed a lot. And at that time I was an entrepreneur, had my own business. I had to obviously show up physically, and to be gone out of my business for 6 weeks and then having to come out of pocket over 10 grand was a huge blow. Thank God that I had it to do. You know what I mean? Because I cannot imagine having to go work sooner than I did. So I like to share this information at the beginning because a lot of y'all are not familiar with my journey. And I just want to do a little recap just in case. Once my fibroids came back, my options were really slim, so I thought. The doctors were just saying, hey, well, you know, you're in your upper 30s, mid upper 30s. You might as well just go and come up off that uterus. Might as well just come up off that uterus and have this hysterectomy. I shouldn't even say the word hysterectomy on this red app here, because this is why I don't show up over here, because they be playing. So if the H word, you know that's what I meant. If I say your cycle, your bleed. I mean, period. Okay. I don't want to get into birth control, none of that. They try to flag so much stuff. So it's a little political around these parts. Now, it was looking a little slim in the options. And I asked the doctor, is there anything that I can do? And I can prescribe you XYZ. Like, I'm assuming that she was going to prescribe me some type of progestin-based hormone. I remember she really didn't go into it. I remember just bringing the pamphlet home and reading somewhat about it. And I remember seeing the lady on the front of the pamphlet, and she was with her husband, had kids, and they were happy. And she was on these hormones. And I'm like, girl, please. I don't think that that's right for me. It's like, I mean, do you want to have kids? Are you married? Are you in a relationship? Because if not, you might as well just do the age, just have it. And I was like, ooh. I went into a deep depression. I've shared mostly with YouTube quite often that I went into a spiral. Like, I really went into a downward spiral. I was very depressed about the whole situation, first of all, but mostly about the fact that I never thought that I would have to be faced with a decision like this. Like, do you want kids? You need to decide right now. One of the OBGYNs, I went and got a second or third or maybe even fourth opinion. She was just like, listen, I'm just going to leverage with you right now. You are 30 some odd years old. You don't have children. If you don't know, you need to really think about it, because this is like your last chance. Like, you really need to think about this, because how we go about this right now is going to determine a lot for your future, et cetera, et cetera. She's like, you already had a surgery, uterus is compromised. Like, there was all of this conversation happening. And I was just like, I really did not know how to handle it. Mind you, all of this time, my symptoms, my hormones are spiraling also. I went in a downward spiral with health. I had gained so much weight that I couldn't lose. My face was really round and puffy. If you go back on YouTube and look at some of my older videos, my first videos, my face was so round, but that was an improvement over what I was going through at this point in time now. And so it was really sad, a really dark time for me. But I said, you know what? I never ran from a problem, and I'm not going to run from it today. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give myself 90 days. I pulled 90 days out of my butt. I'm just saying. It just sounded like a good time, a good amount of time. I was like, I'm going to give myself 90 days to see if I can make some type of effect to uterus and these symptoms. And with God's good glory and I dive into information, I am a nerd at heart. If any of you are new here and y'all don't know this, I eat information for breakfast. Like, I love it. I love a good study. I love peer-reviewed study. I like to read textbooks. I sit on lectures. I want to know everything. So thank God that I was studious. And I said, there's got to be something else to this, because I keep asking y'all, what causes this? Can my diet affect it? No. Can my stress affect it? There anything that I do to help my body? No, 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 no. You just need to get an H. You just need to get on these hormones. You need to, no. So I researched my little butt off. I spent thousands, thousands of dollars buying all of these things, herbs, $150, $200 teas, trying to get my friend from Jamaica to get his auntie out in the bush over there to get her neighbor to get Jamaican's dog blood herb. Baby, and mind you, I lived in Florida, so I knew a lot of people from the islands. I'm trying to get all types of herbs, and I'm looking up Chinese medicine, and I'm doing that, and I was throwing so much money at it. Mind you, I paid some lady to help me. She was a joke. And I'm saying all of this to say that through that whole time, I was really running into a lot of walls. Not to mention the stuff that I did before I tasked myself with this 90-day goal, right? And I was motivated, although I was sad and I was not even sure if what I was doing was possible because I had no examples. I had never even seen anyone do this before. But I literally was not going to give up. I said, I am not laying down on that table until I try everything. Everything. And I remember I was actually coming back from a trip, and I might have been sitting in the air, something like that, and I'm on my phone. And I don't know how I came by this supplement, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I see this supplement, My Happy Flow, and I'm like, what the hell? I start reading it. I'm like, okay, it's supposed to help with heavy periods, period pain, which I was really, really bad. When I tell you, my periods were literally rendering me bedridden. I was bedridden. Days before my period and on the actual period, I was done. I was done. Go to work. Not only was I bleeding so heavily, I was like laying on double towels and blankets so I wouldn't be messing up my couch. I always tell y'all, heating pad on the back, heating pad on the front, drinking ibuprofen, baby. Okay. Doing all the things. I was incapacitated. I couldn't think. My sister would ask me questions and things that I should know like this. I could not, like the brain and the cognitive issues were really horrible. My patient was terrible. I was huge. I had acne, which I had never had in my life. Just my gut, I could drink water and be inflamed. Literally, I felt like I needed to be hospitalized on my period. So just putting that out there. So I saw the supplement. Fast forward, I saw the supplement. I'm like, done everything, but I'm gonna try this supplement and give people this little 30 some odd dollars and see what it do. When I got home from wherever I was coming from, I checked the mailbox. I had the package. I don't know where I was. This was years ago. And My Happy Flow, I said, F it, here goes nothing. When I tell you that period after taking that supplement was completely, I just want you to know this is not a sponsored moment. I'm not trying to sell nothing. I'm just letting you know all the things you need to know to understand how we got here today. Okay. Before we go on to these, that period was life changing because it was the first one I had that gave me hope. I'm a little teary eyed because y'all, like I said, y'all know I'll cry. It gave me hope because I had more energy, unheard of on my period. I had some clarity of mind. Bleeding wasn't looking like I need to go to the emergency room. My bloating was down. I was like, now I don't believe nothing. I'm a skeptic. Okay. But I was like, something so good, you got to look at the bottle like, what the hell in here? I knew some things at this moment in time because, like I said, I had been doing it, but there wasn't a lot out there. I had to pull studies from Canada, from the UK, all these different countries, Japan, to see different things for hormone imbalance and fibroids. And at that time, I didn't really realize, I had an inkling, but I didn't really realize that it was hormone imbalance, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is in here? Because I'm not sure. Like, is it this? So I research the ingredients and I start doing a deep dive on DIM, diindol methane, diindol methane. Okay. This is a compound that comes from cruciferous vegetables. This is not a science class, but y'all know I'm gonna teach you. So I was like, what the hell? This helps to detox excess estrogen. It helps with liver detoxification in specific. I was like, liver? What the hell that got to do with fibroids? So I'm this whole deep dive down into all of these things and trying to understand, okay, how helping my period, because what? And just to give you information, at that time, I looked like I was like 6 months pregnant. At the time, my fibroids were growing rapidly. I mean, rapidly. This was much worse than the first that I had fibroids, much, much worse. And I didn't know that, all the things that I had going on in my life, in fact, affecting the fibroids. And now I know all the things, but at that time I had no clue that all the things that I were doing were affecting my fibroids like that. Okay. So growing super rapidly, and I had about a half dozen of them as they described. So I had about 6 of them, right? Just pregnant with fibroids. Even even though I had less fibroids than the first time, my stomach was much bigger, much bigger. I don't know if some have seen my videos where I show my stomach, but if you haven't, please go and look on my YouTube. I've shared my past photos and where I've come from a lot. And we're going to get into diet also. But I was in hell. I was literally in hell, y'all. And I just want to give you this backstory so you can understand the progression of journey for me. So I go and at this point, we're approaching 90 days, and I realize, oh, okay, it is this supplement. There are multiple things inside of that supplement that also contribute to hormone health, balance, inflammation reduction, gut health, et cetera, et cetera. And all of that was playing a really big role in what was going on. And I was convinced at that point. I'm going on walks on my period, which never happened. I was actually able to move around and like do stuff. I had energy and I had like vitality. And I was in the woods. Were my periods perfect? No, by no means. But I was seeing a reduction in symptoms. At this time, also, I had adopted a certain diet. Okay. I've talked a lot about this, especially on YouTube, that I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle, and we'll go down some of these things today. I had changed so much, and I felt like it was the integrate that supplement with what I was doing that really took it over the edge. And I was like, oh. And it was taking that supplement that made me realize, oh, these things in this body have a lot to do with what is going on with my body. And that was the inception of all of this research in truth. So, mind you, continued on with my diet, lifestyle, my happy flow, and some things that we're going to talk about today. And I have never looked back. I was able to shrink the fibroids. I went from having a half dozen fibroids, okay, look like I'm ready to pop, to having a flat belly in less than a year. A lot of people ask me, how long did it take to actually start seeing some result with your journey? And I always tell people it took 90 days. In those 90 days, I had changed my periods. I was starting to see some progress. Mind you, I'm consolidating a lot of things. So I don't want to make it sound like, oh my God, I just took this supplement and things happened. But I had made alterations to my life as well. And months later, I'll say about 6 months later, I was a whole new woman. I was a whole new woman, okay? This is important for a lot of people. My largest fibroid at the time that I was in hell was around 7 centimeters. It was about 7.3 centimeters, okay? And I had about 6 or 7 at that time. I had been getting ultrasounds, obviously, throughout this. I want to say at this point in time, around 6 months in, reduced my fibroids to 3. I had 3 from 6, y'all. And within a year, I had 1. It's a subserosal on the fundus, meaning the top of my uterus, and is about a grape size. So when I tell you that change is possible, please, please, please believe me. When I decided to come on this platform I'm talking about and share my journey, I was not coming on here with any other motive than to share what I had learned and discovered about this condition and my body and how I got there, because I didn't know what I was doing was not popular. I didn't know that what I was doing was not something that people were doing. And I just wanted purely to help the women who were in a position, who were suffering, to see the light and have some hope and have, you know, some type of motivation from another sister who has been there, understood where you are. And to this day, though this platform has grown tremendously, and I've changed my entire life to pursue hormone health and fibroids and advocating for women in this space, my motive is still the same. So I know that a lot of you all don't know me. So before I start to get into the meat and potatoes of today, I really want you to understand that I know there's a lot of women out here on this internet. I've paid some of them. I done took their detoxes. I done took their courses for thousands of dollars. I done done a lot of things. I've been where you are. There's not genuine people in this space. But when I tell you I got your back, I mean that. I mean that. So anything that I ever put out, suggest, tell you anything, it's something that has genuinely helped me to get here. If you align with it and it resonates with you, good. If it doesn't, that's fine too. Because I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm here to support you. And if you want that support, take it. If you don't, leave it. Because I am a lot of very negative comments. I have a lot. By far, all of y'all community is very positive. But I people all day, every day. And I don't blame you. I'm also a consumer, and I'm also a person out here on this internet. And I know that there's a lot of people who are not genuine. But if you have ever worked with me, if you have ever me, emailed me, talked to me, done a one-on-one call with me, been anywhere in this space with me, you know I'm a real one. When I tell you I got you, you DM me, we talk about things. I have no agenda to help you. So I just want to put that out there because I feel like, not on Substack, y'all know me well, but we have thousands and thousands of people who come through my platforms daily, and because they don't know me. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. And I'm not that. This ain't that. Okay. I know y'all have been burned a lot of times. I know things, but this is not that. I stand on the side of you, and I am with you on this. I'm not trying to dangle some magic in front of you and snake oil and say, ooh, I did this, I got this. My claim to fame is education, so that you can have what I have, so that you can do what you need to do, have information so you can make informed choices and informed decisions. Okay. And to let you know that it's possible. So with that being said, I want to get into this top 5 list. I have a top 5 list of things that I would do if I was not seeing results on my fibroid. If I felt stuck, if I felt like I don't know where to start, or I've started a million times and I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, I'm going to tell you what I would do, because I've started over 100 times. And 4 years, it's almost been 4 years, y'all, since I shrank my fibroids. And I have prevented myself from having a second surgery. And so I think I know a little bit about things in a lived experience way. And also I'm still health. Okay. So I know a lot coming from your perspective, and knowing that I'm not just a person talking at you on the internet about something I don't know about. I know what I know. Everything that I tell you can be verified, research. The information's out there. I'm just bringing it to you in a condensed sense. Okay. With lived experience. I've been there and I be knowing. So the first thing up on this list that I want to talk about, because I get a lot of messages and DMs. Also, I do one-on-one support calls as well. And my Substack girlies know that. A lot of my YouTube girlies are new here and they don't know that. And most certainly a lot of my girlies on this one over here, TikTok, may not know that I have been doing support calls for quite a while now. So I talk to a lot of women and I hear the pain points. I understand that there's a lot of trial and error on this journey. I understand that there's a lot of hitting a wall and feeling like you just are about to just take your uterus out yourself and throw that mug in the trash. I understand. So I do want to talk about some of these top 5 things that I absolutely believe will put you in a better position as it relates to your and help you to actually start to see some form of results. TikTok. This is a link to all of my things. Everything I got, that's a link. Substack, y'all really don't need this link, but there you go. Just in case. YouTube, it's linked, because if I'm talking about something relevant, I want you to know this is where you find everything. You want to book a one-on-one, it's there. You want to buy the Fibroid Nutrition Reset Protocol, it's there. You want to join my Substack community, it's there. You want to find my Happy Flow supplement with a discount, it's there. You want to see what vitamin D I like and use, it's there. You want to see where I get my labs at without ordering them from a doctor, it's there. It's all there. It's all there. Okay. So, number 1, this list, you hit that wall, you're frustrated, and you don't know what to do. The first thing I would do is get more information. What is that? Get more information about where your health stands. Where does your body stand in terms of your hormone health, the actual status of your fibroids, okay? Your nutrients, micronutrients, macronutrients, okay? This is very, 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 very important. Very important. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only does gaining more information about where you stand put you in a position to be able to actually customize, refine, and target the things that uniquely are struggles for your body, but it allows you to have an actual starting point to where you can support yourself in real time. Because a lot of this journey, not gonna lie, is trial and error. We know this. There's an element to natural healing that is trial and error. But with all healing, with all conditions, the thing you need is as much information as you can get about where you are. This is an important thing because when we go to the doctor as women with fibroids, we come out with nothing almost every time. We cannot accept basic. We cannot accept basic. We cannot accept skimming over things that run of the mill, regular old CBC. It's a nice starting point for anybody who's alive. But if you have fibroids, you need that to dig deeper. Okay. So if you've had imaging, how old is it? Is it older than 6 months? We need an updated ultrasound. Y'all know how I feel about ultrasound. It's cute. It's cute. But you really need an MRI. You really need an MRI. Because ultrasounds are notoriously inaccurate when it comes to fibroids. And if you really want to see the status, and when I say status, I mean where fibroids. Are they, in the inner muscle? Are they intramural? Are they submucosal? Are they subserosal? Are they peduncular? You feel it moving around. Is it on a stalk? What is the vascularity like? Is it losing its blood supply? Is it about to start degenerating? Is it degenerating? There are different types of degeneration. Is it calcified? You need to understand this so that you can understand how to move forward. You need to understand what type of fibroid it is. I don't mean intramural, submucosal, subserosal. I mean, is it a red fibroid, which are types that are gelatinous? I mean, some fibroids have an actual almost, I wouldn't say liquid, but almost a jelly-like center. This is very uncommon per the stats, but it's important for you to understand that, because if it's not a regular mass, you might want to come at that differently. Even the locations would determine what symptoms you're having and why you may be experiencing certain pain and why she has never had a problem with her period a day in her life, but she got fibroids growing. You see what I mean? And why maybe hers is bigger than yours, but she don't even look like she has fibroids, and yours is here to 6 months. This is very, very important. Very, very important. MRI over ultrasound every day. And I pray to God that it continues to be more accessible without an order, because we deserve to know what's going on in our bodies, and doctors should not be able to monopolize those types of tools. It's our health at the end of the day. It's our health, not their health. It's our health. And absolutely, they're diagnostic tools, but our understanding and knowing where we stand is the most important thing. Knowing where you are helps you to rationalize. It can help to calm you down even. Some things are not as bad as you thought they would be. Sometimes things are critical. You didn't know, and you needed to know that. You see what I mean? So I'm not going to keep going to that point, but you know how I get. If ain't nobody going to tell you, you big sis. I can't even say big sis because some of y'all are older than me. Your sis, your cousin, your internet isn't going to tell you. I care about you all genuinely, and I don't play about this. So another thing, labs. So much is in your blood. This is the same blood that is feeding your fibroids. You need to know what it looks like. You need to understand what is going on inside. Again, we're not accepting basic CBC because they're going to CBC you to death. To death. Most basic panel you can run for a living human being. We need more. That is important, but we need more. A lot of us go to the doctor and we get labs and the doctor says, your labs look fine. But here's the caveat. There's a few. It depends on what they're looking for. If they're not looking for anything, of course it looks fine. They're not looking for markers that indicate endocrine dysfunction. They're not looking for hormone imbalance because they don't care. They're not trying to heal you. So that information is not pertinent to them because they're not trying to heal you. This took me years to understand. And if I can help you understand that, please understand, even if you have a good doctor, well meaning and wonderful, they are not trained to heal. That is not what they do. So they're not looking for things that need to be healed because healing is not in their toolbox. So the second caveat is context. Context is really, really, really important here. Like, really. What do I mean by that? So many markers in your labs may seem okay standing alone. All by themselves, they cool. But when compared to a relevant marker, it could be screaming. There are a lot of markers in your labs that indicate dysfunction and, you know, I just had a whole brain fart. Dysfunction and malnutrition and all of these other things, but they need context, right? Because everything in your body works together. Everything works together. They want to piece you to death. They want you to believe that your ovaries down here don't have nothing to do with your pituitary up here, but in fact, they're connected. Everything's connected. Everything is connected. So when you have a deficiency of one thing, you better believe there is a cofactor or something else that works with that thing that, when looked at together, changes the context. For example, I have done hormone testing a million times. One of the times that I got my hormones checked, or I understood, the doctor said, "Oh, estrogen looks fine." Now, looking back at that, she was testing me in the wrong phase of my cycle for the context of what we needed to be looking at, right? So, for example, estrogen, estradiol to be specific, tested in the early phase of your cycle, day 3, for example, which is standard for testing. I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen on YouTube? Okay, I'm back. If you tested that early, you better turn around and test it again in the mid-luteal and test your progesterone with it. Because without understanding where your progesterone is, there's absolutely no way for you to determine whether you have estrogen dominance. Thank you. There's absolutely no way to determine it. Again, context. There are hundreds of examples through your hormones, your steroid hormones, sex hormones, your nutrients, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? We're counting on them to know these things. We're counting on them to be looking, but they're not looking because they don't care. They don't care. And that breaks my heart. I do want to let you know that I have a whole masterclass on labs on my Substack. A whole hour-long masterclass about what labs are good for fibroids, why, what to test, et cetera, with a downloadable. That link has the link to my Substack. Join. It's a lot going down over there. That's where I be at. A whole masterclass about this. And if you are on Substack and you didn't know that resource was available to you, baby girl, search in the search hormones or workshop. It wasn't a masterclass. It was workshop. Excuse me. It was workshop. What else is important so I can get on to number 2? But this is really important, why I'm stressing all of this information. You got to go deeper. And I know that they going to play in your face. Thank you. I know that they going to play in your face. This is what they do. They're going to push back. They're going to tell you, oh, there's no reason why we need to test your hormones. It doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm not going to test you. I blah, 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 blah. And it's insane. It's insane. It's negligent. It's disgusting. And that's why there are resources where you can actually test your own labs on your own, because they like to play too much and nobody has time. We don't have time. And excuse me, my allergies are just, they're going to play in your face. So if they push back, first and foremost, as I've said on some of these lives, please make them document that they are refusing to test you for something that you're requesting in your notes. A lot of the time, that'll turn them around. If it doesn't, it's notated because it's negligent. If you end up having something that could have come out of those, you know what I mean? Also, with the doctors that are giving you pushback, I need you to understand that I know when we go in there, it feels like they're in the driver's seat, but I need you to understand you need to be in the driver's seat of your own health and your own health journey. Please do not allow them to determine where you go with your health journey. Please. Informed consent. You deserve the opportunity to decide whether this is something you want or not based on the information that you need, which is the reason why I do this. Your symptom proof, your lived experience is proof that these labs are warranted. Your lived experience and symptoms are proof that the investigation is warranted, because it's interrupting your life. And it's important for you all to know that you got to fight back sometimes. They will gaslight you down to the ground. What you are feeling and experiencing in your body is enough to warrant what you are asking for. Please know that. Now, I also want to make one last point on the endocrine system, then we're going to go to number 2. Please understand that this whole thing that's going on inside of you is about your endocrine system. They say, Glam, what the hell is that? What's that? The endocrine system is a group of glands in your body that are hormone releasing. Those hormones running the show. Everything you do, sleeping, peeing, eating, menstruating, all of that, your heartbeat, your heart health, cardiovascular, all of these things have to do with your endocrine system, your bone health, your cognitive health, ability. Your ovaries are glands that are a part of your endocrine system. So I feel very much that with this new research that we're going to get for fibroids, that they'll realize that this is more of an endocrine system involved condition than they thought. Just like they just changed the name from PCOS to MOS, meaning polyendocrine metabolic syndrome. Fibroid is not a period problem. This is an endocrine system problem. So when we have a problem with the endocrine system, the blood is the first place we need to look. And if they coming back talking about, oh, everything looks fine. It's not fine because you are not healthy. You are not well. You do not feel. And that is enough. That's enough. So we're going to go to number 2. Number 2 is diet. And a lot of y'all going to like this. A lot of y'all going to like this. We talk about that. We do have a couple comments really quick. Do we have to look pale because of the diet change? Staying off carbs makes you lose drastic weight and look pale. Anywhere to still look good while at it. Hold on. Hold on. Why are we not eating carbs? Why are we not eating carbs, friend? Carbs are very important to your health, to your energy. There's a lot of carbs. There are many types of carbs. But to avoid them, we're not avoiding carbs. We're not doing low carb. No. So she said carbs contain sugar that triggers growth. No. Very nuanced, okay? Yes, carbs can be converted into sugar. True. We got monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides, all of these types of carbohydrates. However, you need carbs. You need sugar. There's nothing wrong with carbs. The problem is eating simple carbs. Problem is eating processed carbs, stripped carbs. You feel me? We need to be eating complex carbs that take longer to break down in the system, thereby not causing a deep reaction in your blood sugar, because simple carbs go straight to the blood sugar and it go bloop, bloop. And we know a lot of this is what causes growth. Not inherently carbs. It's not having enough fiber and antioxidants to pick up the carbohydrates. Complex carbs are what we're aiming for. Please do not avoid carbs. That's not what we do. And whatever diet that you are doing, if you want to know a different type of diet, clearly I have a diet protocol. It's linked. We're not avoiding carbs, friend. We're avoiding simple carbs, processed carbs, straight up sugar, right? We're looking for something that has fiber and carbohydrates together. Like the difference between eating a white potato and potato. The white potato don't have enough fiber. The sweet potato has a lot of fiber, antioxidants that you need. You need them. Health. That's why you look pale. So be careful. And she says, I lost 18 kilograms in 2 months staying off carbs, now looking terrific, except being pale, right? Feeding on veggies, thought carbs were the hyper growth stimulant. They're not, and I'm really happy for you. But there is also a way to maintain loss and lose even more weight if you're looking for it by eating certain carbohydrates and a specific combination of foods. See, this is we're track, but this is what we have to keep in mind, y'all. Our idea of health as women can be very warped. I love y'all, but I'm gonna be honest with you. We think because we lost that we're healthier. Yes, in ways, losing weight actually is better for your health, but that doesn't mean anything about your health. That doesn't mean anything about endocrine system and how it may be dysfunctioning. So our idea of health has to stop being linked to this external thing. That's why inside and understanding what is going on inside is a more important marker per se if we're looking to actually get to the bottom of this. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you look snatched and fantastic. But just know you can maintain that while eating complex carbs. You got it, and I love that for you. Somebody else said, I do recognize when I eat certain foods, I bleed more. I've started taking sea moss, burdock root, and black seed oil supplements. I noticed I would not stop altogether. Yes, because your diet has a lot to do with this. So let's get into this. Let's get a little up into this. I feel like I have messages on TikTok, but I don't know how to use TikTok, y'all. I'm so sorry. If I see it, then I can address it, but no. Okay. So let's go diet. If I'm stuck on my journey, I'm seeing reduction in my symptoms. I'm not seeing reduction in my fibroids. I'm still having pain. I'm still going through it. I'm going to get, first thing. Second thing, I'm looking at my diet. Immediately, I'm looking, because while it is not the most important thing you can do, it is the most accessible thing to me, and easiest thing that we can do to support healing. What you put in your mouth or what you choose not to put in your mouth is so incredibly important to this conversation, because what opportunity I have to support my need, you see? What opportunities do I have to support the information that I received about where my body is, you see? Where my deficiencies are. Now, I need to dive into diet, because this is an opportunity for me to give my body the things that it needs to rebalance itself and replete my deficiencies, and to help my endocrine system, and to combat inflammation, blood sugar dysfunction, all the things. So let's get into it. You know, where am I consuming inflammatory foods, Miss Period Heather? Where am I consuming things that my body is reading as inflammation, as to my system? Is it dairy? Usually. I know a lot of y'all not going to like to hear that. You can go on and on, but on the list of most common inflammatory triggers for the diet, dairy's up there. That's number one. I don't care if it's raw. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Number two, is it wheat? Is it beans? Is it rice? See what I mean? Is it processed meat? Because let's just touch that real quick. And I know a lot of y'all not gonna like to hear this, but like I said, it's 1,000 over here or it's nothing. It's 1,000 over here or it's nothing. I was told, one of the first things I was told was to go vegan. Guess what? When I was vegan, I was dying. Some of us require heme iron. Some of us require animal protein. Protein is a very, very important conversation. Why? Because hormones are synthesized with protein and healthy fats. We're not there yet, though. Animal iron is bioavailable. That means that it doesn't need anything else to help it absorb. Plant-based iron is not bioavailable. I'm not saying that I don't eat a lot of plants, because most of my diet is plants. But for some, we don't feel being vegan. For some of us, we don't feel grounded and safe in our bodies being vegan. For some of us, our periods are exacerbated. A lot. I understand that this is a highly, highly personal choice. But they told me, if you eat meat, your fibroids are gonna grow. You eat meat, your womb is gonna be full of all of these things. Fear mongered the hell out of me, to the point that I was vegan and I was dying. I've almost met death on this journey a couple times, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was deathly anemia deficient. Switching to a intentional meat eating diet was where my life changed. This is very important to understand, because a lot of food vegan is highly processed. And to avoid eating inflammatory causing things as a vegan is very, very difficult. So I found that being vegan and trying to target the things that I need to target for my fibroids to shrink and for my hormone health and to reduce my inflammation and manage my blood sugar and to assist in detoxification, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, to help with my gut health, to assist in my nutrient deficiencies, anemia being number one on that list, and my protein deficiency. I needed to change that. We're not just eating meat willy-nilly. We're not in the keto diet. This ain't keto. This ain't keto. We are eating a lot of vegetables. And she said, I was told fibroids were normal, but that was wrong. It sure was. I eat a lot of different colors of the rainbow. Antioxidants is my name. Anti-inflammatory is my name. I was told that there's no such thing as an anti-inflammatory diet that involves meat. Lies. That suits whoever's narrative is trying to sell you whatever they're trying to sell you. This is not true. This is not true. We have to be mindful of the source of everything that we put in our body, not just meat. Because there's so much context. We got so much food hierarchy. Oh, I'm a pescatarian. I don't eat red meat. I don't. Mind you, you're eating farm fish, which negates the anti-inflammatory properties of the fish. Throw the whole fish out. You see what I mean? There's nuance and context in this journey. If you're going to eat meat, eggs, ooh, they told me if you eat eggs, you're going to turn to a fibroid. I should be one by now. They need to be from a clean source. They cannot be processed. They cannot have antibiotics in them. They cannot have steroids and growth hormones injected into them. They need to be eating a natural and native diet to the end. And if we could go further, they should be humanely raised and humanely slaughtered. They should come from small farms, especially given what we got going on right now in this food world. All of this is very important context, y'all. So y'all gonna let these people fearmonger out of your whole journey, because if you want to be honest, everything that you think is healthy gonna have a side to it that they're gonna find is unhealthy. But believe you me, if you feel better in your body and more grounded and healthier, and you feel like it's easier, there is a way to eat responsibly. We also need to be talking about whole foods. Y'all have to come up off the processed food. Decide to be vegetarian or vegan for whatever reasons. We got religion out here. We got personal choice. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. You have to understand that because you eat one thing inherently does not make it better. Doesn't make it better. There's context, because you could be vegetarian and vegan and pescatarian and all of the things and still be eating processed food. And still be eating food that's not of the quality that your body needs to support it. That's what it's about. So, do I eat meat? Yes. Absolutely. All of it. All of it. Do I mind the source? Absolutely. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. It's very, very important that we stop trying to fearmonger each other. I know that a lot of us are afraid to try different things, but I can assure you, if you are where you are with no results, that means you got to change something. It doesn't have to be head, no. But what I talk about is evidence-based. I didn't pull it out of my butt. You know what I mean? I've arrived here and I've been able to sustain by learning what the body needs, by learning what the root causes are and how we got here, and having my diet meet that need. So, how much PFF are you eating? If you're new here, PFF is a term that I use to remember the trifecta of macronutrients that we need: protein, fat, and fiber in every meal. PFF. This is so incredibly important, and it covers so many things from blood sugar to gut health to hormones, inflammation, support detoxification. Very, very important. So when we really get down, it's really about, are you eating enough protein? Whatever you choosing to do, are you eating enough protein? Healthy, clean, good quality protein. Because everything on you is made out of an amino acid. Your body uses protein, breaks it down into amino acids for everything. And most of these amino acids found in meat. Yes, there are a few complete proteins in the vegetable world, like quinoa. What's another one? There are some that we shouldn't. And just because it's a complete protein don't mean you should be eating it, like soy. You should not be eating soy unless it's fermented, but it is a complete protein though. I'll just say that. There's another one and I can't remember it. There's like 4 of them, 3 or 4. But so is an egg. You know what I mean? So is an egg. So there's that. She says any downloadable sheet having foods we can make and pick from. I have a whole diet protocol, friend. I have a whole ebook. I have a whole ebook talking about this. It breaks it down, all of this. And one of the young ladies from TikTok said she has my gut. She's afraid to eat meat. Understand, you don't have to eat meat in the guide. It has a list of foods to eat and a list of foods to avoid. There is a lot of vegetables. A lot, because we need them. We need them. So just putting that out there. The link to it is right at the bottom. It says all my links right in there. And you can actually save 10% by using July 10. Anybody who wants it. So I need to hurry up. I need to hurry up. But on diet, are you being intentional? Because you can think that you're being intentional with the information that you have, but you could also not be targeting health, because being healthy and being healthy for fibroids is 2 different things. They're 2 different things. And there are different lenses in which people look at health. See, sometimes we're looking at different markers to indicate what health is. And when it comes to fibroids require different things, which is the reason why I made the book for you all. Because y'all kept asking me, what you eat, 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 what you eat. And y'all want to watch the videos. So there you go. All of the information in one. Diet is very important. And if you want to know more about it, please grab my guide. It's very, very informative. Very informative. And she said, that's great because I stumbled on your page and this is the second video I'm watching. Never knew was a dedicated page. Yes, ma'am. I've been on YouTube for almost 4 years, probably a little over 4 years, honestly, but I've been talking about this topic for 4 years. So a lot of my videos are in different stages of my journey. Right now, we are light years ahead of. So I'm glad you found me now. Okay, moving on to number 3, because we gotta go. We got to go. So number 1 was gaining more. And yes, please thumb up the live, like it. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Y'all doing all right over on Substack? Y'all good on TikTok? Because I've been talking to YouTube a lot, but I owe YouTube a lot. Okay, yeah. So number 3, gut health. So we talked about gaining more information, labs, imaging, all of that, gaining more information about where we are. Number 2, diet, looking at your diet and looking for things to help support you. If you don't want to buy my guide, you could also book a call, sit down with me, chat with me. I'm your girl. I got you. Leave me comments underneath the videos. If you've got questions, I'm always here for you. And if you ask me a question and I see it, I answer it. If it gets really complicated, I'm going to suggest you do a call because, that only makes sense. But, girl, gut health. And thank you. I said my skin was flawless. Thank you. Gut health, very important, because what's my gut looking like? If you did not know this, immune system lives in your gut. Your gut, finally, science is catching up with this truth that Your gut has so much to do with your health. And there's no exception here when we're talking about fibroids and hormone health. Who knew? You know what I mean? I'm trying to plug up my phone and it's not giving. Okay, there we go. So gut health is incredibly important because your estrogen is toxed through your gut. Yeah, through your GI system. It's also important to every single process in they say the gut is the second brain. It's also been said that all diseases start in the gut. Hippocrates said that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very understand the role that your gut is playing in your health, friend. Like for real, for real. We hear this, but I feel like there's just this, we have this concept and we're not in the know for actually why this is so incredibly important. I've shared a lot of this information with my girlies on Substack. So if y'all are not following me on Substack, hit that link and follow me on Substack so that you can get a lot of this deeper information and deeper breakdowns on Substack. I go through it over there because I can write articles and have dedicated, pieces to these topics. But especially for my girls who are constipated, especially to my girls who are constipated, please know and understand that if your bowels are not moving, that estrogen that your body is supposed to be getting rid of, detoxifying, pulling out of you, it's being reabsorbed. It's being reabsorbed. So in some cases, you might get a lab test for estradiol in your mid-luteal, and it'll say your estrogen is fine compared to your progesterone, right? Because we've got the right context now. But what didn't account for is the fact that doesn't account for the total circulating estrogen that might be coming from your bowels, the one being reabsorbed by your body. Transit time in the bowels matters. Very important. The longer it takes for waste and toxins and used excess hormones to transit out of your body, the higher the chance that it's reabsorbing into your body. A lot of fibroid girlies struggle with constipation. I need you to take this seriously. I have a whole video dedicated to this topic on YouTube. Fibroids and constipation. Look it up. I don't want to get into the deep intricacies because we have 2 more things to talk about, but I do also want to let you know that if you are a regular girly and you're not constipated, but you have fibroids and or you have hormones, et cetera, we need to think about how you supercharge that transit time. How you can support your gut health through eating more PFF. Important for your gut and your hormones and every other function and process in your body. Okay? If you are regular, you don't see your conversation, you are not exempt. How can we be supporting gut prebiotics? Those are things that feed probiotics. Probiotics help to support healthy bacteria growth in your gut and your GI tract and crowd out bad bacteria in your GI tract, such as the bacteria that targets the bonds between that excess estrogen and the molecule that is used to neutralize it. Bad bacteria do a lot of messed up things in the body. Don't know. There's so much talk about probiotics. There's so much talk about resistant fibers, miss no carbohydrates. There's so much talk about prebiotics. And this is an opportunity for us to support our body with the things that it needs. So even if you're regular, how can you target the processes that are needed to help fibroid shrinking, hormone health, inflammation reduction, blood sugar management, right? And all the things. So gut health, please do not overlook this. And I'm going to have a workshop about this soon because there's so much intricate information that you need to understand about what's actually going on in your gut. And when there is bacterial overgrowth, you have SIBO, when you have IBS, when you have other, inflammatory bowel conditions, and how that can be related to hormone imbalance. They like this. Again, this is one system. Okay, moving on to number 4. So we got gathering more information, looking at your diet and trying to optimize and target for fibroids with diet. We have looking at your gut health. Where does your gut stand? I remember when I was in hell going through it, my gut was the worst that it's ever been. As I said, I would drink some water and I would be bloated, blow-up-tuated in the gut. That was a clue already. My gut health wasn't good. Number 4, take your period. And a lot of you will be like, girl, please. Girl, please. But no, for real, take a look at your period, ma'am. Your period is a 5th vital sign. Your period is a 5th vital sign. The health of your period is the health of you, the health of your body. Your period indicates so much about where your health currently stands that it's not even funny. It finally actually scientifically got named as an actual 5th vital sign. So I'm not just saying that. Your period can tell you so much about what is going on and how you can support your body. And some of my fibroid girlies don't have a lot of period symptoms. Y'all feel like y'all are lucky. I mean, you are lucky. You're lucky. You're lucky. You are lucky. But you do need to understand that even in that, there are things for you to look out for. Like for people who are menstruating regularly. Are you ovulating? Because just because you're bleeding doesn't mean you're ovulating, right? That's really important to understand. Like I say this a lot, but that don't mean that. Okay? Ovulation is crucial. Ovulation is crucial because if you do not ovulate, you do not make progesterone or meaningful progesterone to oppose estrogen. Okay? We cannot have estrogen running wild. Somebody said their period blood smells like iron, as it should. Smell like pennies? It should. But if you're, be careful there. Another thing, my menstruating ladies who are menstruating regularly and not having major problems with their period. How is everything else? Are you having any changes in your breasts? Yeah, breast tissue is going to change throughout the month anyway. However, do you notice that they are really dense or mass during your period? Are they sensitive? Are they heavy? This can indicate estrogen dominance. That's very important. Ladies of you who are having irregular or missing periods, or what's called amenorrhea, this is important. This is telling you something about your health, okay? Of you who are having multiple periods in a month, this is very unhealthy. This is telling you something. There's a dysfunction going on, okay? For those of you that are having prolonged periods. So we're going from missing periods to the period that is not stopping, okay? This all is a signifier to what is going on in your endocrine, okay? This is all hormone related. Are your periods painful or dysmenorrhea? Are you having dysmenorrhea? Are your periods killing you? That's not normal. Common, but not normal. And that's telling you something about where you are, probably telling you more about your inflammation than anything. Just keep that in mind. Okay? Again, did you ovulate? Are we looking at ovulation? Because I feel like we're not looking at ovulation unless we're looking to get pregnant, and that's backwards. That'll make no sense, because ovulation indicates about your health. A lot about your health. If you're not ovulating, or if ovulation is compromised, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. And there are absolutely things you can do to confirm whether you're ovulating and track your ovulation. Everything from cervical mucus tracking to basal body temperature tracking, all of the things. If you want to know more information about this, I do not have a specific cycle-related resource right now, coming soon, but I can talk you through this in a call. Book a call. My calendar is open. It's been open for the last 90 days. Book a call. We can talk about any of this. Any of this. I'm like a encyclopedia, girl. Hit me up. We can go through this, and we can also talk about how you can even support each phase of going through this, okay? But that's very important. Also, while we're on this topic, are you on synthetic hormones? Are you on HRT? Are you on birth control? Have they put you on Lupron? All of these things are very, very important to your endocrine system and your chances of healing yourself naturally, especially. Very, very important, ladies. We got to look at this. If getting results, all of these things are something that you need to be looking into. If you have hit a wall and nothing is working, all of these are crucial. All right, my last one. We've talked about looking inside the body, looking at what we are consuming, the internal state of the body, etc., etc. But have we talked about what's going on outside of what's going on in the environment? What I like to call the people, places, and things, right? Everything from toxic chemicals, endocrine disruptors, xenoestrogens that are in everything, from your couch to your plastic water bottles, your Tupperware, your clean products, your even the newer panties and intimates that they're making are made out of things that have forever chemicals in them. Let's talk about the external environment. Bath and Body Works, buying those plugins. Do you got on body sprays? What's your deodorant looking like, friend? What are your personal looking like? What is your period products looking like? Time to do an audit. We're talking about things, but now let's talk about people. Who around you needs to get cut off? What relationships are stressing you out and not serving you? Whether this be your job relationship, your romantic relationship, your friendships, family. Sometimes we got to go no contact. I love you, but I will not sacrifice my health because and trauma have a lot to do with the fibroid conversation, which we're about to have a whole womb workshop on my Substack next week. We're going to be talking about boundaries, baby. Boundaries. I'm setting the bar lower because I'm not tolerating nothing. You hear me? I'm delicate. I'm not nothing. I used to be the strong friend. I used to be the strong sister. Now I'm breaking down. Now I'm crying on the internet. Now I'm journaling. Now I'm putting my feet out in the sand, and yoga and meditating and tapping and. I got my crystals and I'm not the strong nothing. I'm not the strong nobody no more. Sorry. Showing up for everybody, nobody showing up for me. Boundaries. That friend, you love her to death, but every time you pick up that phone, she got something toxic to tell you. And you love the tea. You love the tea. Stop participating. All of that has to do with this vessel, okay? Very, very important that we are thinking all of the things. Sometimes we got to let him go, friend. Sometimes he's draining you. Sometimes his energy is draining you and you letting him be inside of you. And he's using you for your energy. And it's making your fibroids grow. We don't want to go right now. Look, I started talking about it and look, YouTube, I started talking about it, and I started freezing. I'm telling you, they don't want me to talk about nothing. That's why I took it to Substack. We're going to talk about all of the workshop though. So if you have not already signed up for my Substack, hit that link, join the Substack. Please join Substack because that's where I can really talk at, where I can be honest at. They know this. So we definitely need thinking about the external factors that are contributing to our state of mind. Because as I always tell y'all, y'all cannot hide what's going on up here from what's going on down here. It doesn't work like that. You cannot hide your thoughts from your biology. You cannot hide your stress from your biology. It's just not how it works. It is all one unit. It's all connected. We talked about the things, we talked about the people. Let's talk about the places. What buildings and the places where you spend the most time at look like? Does it have mold? Is it toxic? Is it heavy with chemicals or all of these things? We need to think about the external environments that we are providing for our body. Because although we might feel like we're so very resilient, your endocrine system is not. Your endocrine system is incredibly sensitive, incredibly sensitive. Your thyroid is incredibly sensitive to all of these chemicals. If thyroid start being off, everything's off. The thyroid start being off, blood sugar off, everything off. Everything off, okay? Your endocrine system is not the strongest. It's not. Okay, so you wanting a superwoman running around with a cape on, you're doing your endocrine system a disservice. I'm going to tell you that right now. So that is my top 5 things that I would address, look into, and target if I was not seeing results. Because as you see, this journey is so much more nuanced than we'd like to believe, than what we were told. They want to demonize meat, but in reality, it's got so much more to do with all these other things. While some of these things are factors, of course, we don't want to be eating processed shenanigans. They didn't demonize everything. They didn't demonize flax. Look, now I'm freezing again. This is why I don't mess with YouTube. I can't have freedom of speech. Anyway, it's very important for us to focus on what's real here, okay? Because we have a lot of tangible that we could all be doing a better job at looking into, right? We could all be doing a better job in these 5 categories, I guarantee you. So when you feel stuck, I want you to feel empowered by the fact that there's generally something else that we're missing. That always gave me hope, because I'm okay. I may not be doing the greatest job in certain areas. So that means there's opportunity for me to support myself in a deeper way. You got to buckle down. This is your health. And something that I mentioned yesterday on Substack is that we have to stop looking at fibroids as a period problem. We have to stop looking at fibroids as, oh, it's just, benign tumors in the uterus and we could just move it on. No, this is a full-on endocrine system related. They don't even want to call it a chronic disease, even though it is. Endometriosis is a chronic disease. PCOS is a chronic disease. Fibroid should be a chronic disease. It has a lot to do with our endocrine system. So a lot of the girlies are always like, what do you take? Girl, it's not about what you take. About way more than what you take. Way deep. You feel me? So please be empowered and rest assured that things that you can do on this journey that nobody's going to tell you but your girl, okay? Let me read a few comments and then I got to get out of here. She says, electronic devices cause problems too. Oh, don't start it. I have a whole workshop on Substack. I have multiple workshops, by the way, on Substack, if you're looking for any, on stress. But I talk about the technology, the phones, the blue light, the screens, and how that actually affects our circadian rhythm. This is real. Not only are they toxic in the form of radiation and all of these different things, but the blue light is killing us. It's not really technically killing us. What I mean is it's interrupting our natural circadian rhythm, which is extremely important for your health. So that's another conversation that is very, very important. And I'm glad that you brought that up. So doing an audit of these 5 things will absolutely change and supercharge your journey, because we feel like we're doing all the things, but we don't have context, which is why you need somebody like me to come to connect the dots. You feel me? Miss KK, she says, no longer being friends with my ex and not answering every call from my sis is one of the best things I ever did for my uterus. Good God. Look, good God. Sometimes you really have to be honest with yourself, y'all. Like sometimes we got to like really get real, because we are functioning in a very superficial sense on this journey, because we deep down, we know it's an inside job and it's going to require a lot, but we don't really want to go there, because that takes discipline, that takes being the villain sometimes, that take not doing the things that we want to do, like eating things that we like to taste, or being with a person that we know is toxic for us, but we don't have no business being with, or, take us to buckle down. Yeah, it is. Are you sacrifice a lot? Yeah. I mean, I think we all know this at this point, but really, and I have lost plenty of friends through this process. And honestly, I don't want to call it a loss. I don't even want to call it a loss, baby, because it was required where I was going. They couldn't come with me. And, the people who are meant to ride this out with you will be the people that all through all of your changes. And they may not fully understand, but they will support you. And if they're not supporting you, then listen. And for some people, it's just kind of like, I love you, but from a distance. Because what I'm not going to do is keep absorbing your negative energy every time you call me because you want to tell me something going on in your life and you don't even ask me doing. When I answer the phone, you just start talking about, girl, he blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Blah, 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 blah. Can you, I need you to, all of this kind of thing. Again, bar. I'm actually changing the bar to accept less. I'm not nothing. Tolerance on high, on low. Which one? You choose. To me, I got low tolerance. Low tolerance, baby, for the shenanigans. Because at this point of your journey, you'll realize how much energy, money, time, blood, literal blood, sweat, tears they poured into becoming the woman that you are trying to be. I will be damned if I allow to let me slide backwards. And it could seem innocent to have a friend every time we saw each other, she wanted to take shots. No. I told you already. I can't do that. And you're not thinking about my health because you want a toxic friend. You want the friend that's going to be with you to do your low energy behaviors. And I'm not more. I'm not there anymore. No, you cannot take me with you there. I will not go. You got the family gonna guilt you and make you feel bad and try to tell you that you all that because you don't want to eat this, that, and the other at the family functions. Then I'm just not going to come because y'all are gonna bully me every time I come up in here. You would think that you would support me. You would think that you would say, you know what, that's your body. And if that's what you want to do with your body, I'm down. Why a stranger on the internet got to me more than my people? You feel me? This type of stuff I'm talking about. So we really do have to look at all of the factors. This is a multifaceted because your womb is the center of your emotions. This is where you're holding things. And if you are in your waking life connecting with these energy people that you know feel intrusive towards your energy, but you keep entertaining them and you don't have the strength to stand up for yourself and create boundaries with them, you're going to stay in the same place. You will not be able to heal your womb. This is very important. And I hate to be this way, but if nobody's going to tell you, I'm going to tell you. Very, very important stuff. And KK said, I have also come to learn uterus is where women hold their intuition. What? Hello? What did I say before? Oh, you thought I had a gut feeling? Baby, that wasn't your gut. That wasn't your gut. That weren't your gut, friend. We have a power. This uterus is a super organ, which is the reason why it renews itself every single month. It's a organ. It requires a lot of energy to do what it does. And when it's giving us hell, we need to pay attention. It's trying to tell us something. And for me, my methodology and how I have healed myself and kept myself from going back down is by touching all the touch points. Are we perfect? Absolutely not. But are we always taking a moment to audit? As I said yesterday on Substack, you can't see when the thing is in your face like this. Sometimes when the thing is right here, you can say, oh, I could see how that was not for me. But you cannot see when the thing is right here. Sometimes you got to put it way back here so you can say, oh no, oh hell no. You know what I mean? You need distance sometimes. I've been very honest about the fact that in those 90 days, I isolated myself. I incubated, as I called it. I didn't come outside. If it weren't for work or my essentials, going to the gym or walking my trail, walk my dogs and whatever, it was like this. And I learned a lot about the people around me through that. I couldn't manage because I didn't know what my journey required. And I didn't know what my routine needed to look like. I needed time to form my routine without outside influence, to see what was working. When you sit still, you can hear your higher self. You can hear your intuition. You can hear your true voice, because there's going to be so much noise. Your doctor to do this. Your grandma said this. Your cousin said this. Somebody at your work had hysterectomy and she thinks it's the best thing that she ever did. Whatever. They'll never say that. But, all of this noise, some need to sit down and be with yourself so you can hear yourself. That's very, very important, y'all. So before I get up out of here, I just want to read a few of these comments that I said I was going to read 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry. Okay, so Joyful Tales, she says, just want to say, well done, sis. You are doing a great job enlightening women about fibroids. God bless you. Thank you so much. This is my passion. I do eat, sleep, breathe, live this. And at the beginning of this live, when we started, I told you that this ain't that, right? And I'm not one of those people that is here to try and rope you into some program or get you on a webinar and sell you some, madness. But, if you need support, I'm here for that. If you need education, you need information, if you need motivation, if you need somebody to say, hey, what are you doing? I'm here for the accountability. I could be that girl for you. I love you guys so deeply. And if you need to tap in with me, if you need to do a one-on-one call, I still have some availability for next week. I have 3 days next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, spots available in those days to book a call. Book the call, girl. Book the call. Book the call. I know you got questions. Y'all be emailing me, book a call, okay? You need to know about diet and nutrition and you want to know about my protocol, please grab it. It's in the link. If you are looking for more support outside of YouTube, please join Substack. Are looking for, deeper information about all of the things, articles, workshops, all of this stuff lives, a lot of it lives on Substack. I only have videos over here, but there's a lot of supportive information over on Substack, and that link is there as well. Holler at your girl, okay? I am here for you. I'm here for you. When I tell you that I love y'all and I want to see advancement in this community, I want to see your wins. I was just finding the comments on YouTube earlier, and a girl told me that she has one fibroid left out of so many that she had, and I started crying. All of your wins are my wins, and I feel like my win is your win. So we have to stick together in this. I think that sisterhood and having a circle is so incredibly important to healing our womb. Like, because who gonna know what we going through but us? You feel me? And again, go over on Substack, because YouTube, it's a whole saga, okay? And I love you guys very, very much. Somebody says, thank you so much for your time, encouragement, facts, and love. Absolutely. I see, because of my heavy bleeding, it was negative, but my OB still wants to do the H. What you need to do is look at your hormones. Run everything. Run a full thyroid. Look at the cortisol. Look at the estrogen, the progesterone. Look at the LH, the FSH, all that. If you need particulars on what things you should be looking for, look at my workshop on Substack. It's in the link below. I love y'all so very much. Thank you so much for taking 90 minutes, 127 minutes of your life and sitting with me. And I can't wait to see y'all. I love you guys deeply. Have a great, 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 great